Prem Swalamapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Siddharam everybody, and welcome to our second night of Shiv Gyan Yagya here at the Sri Krsna Seva Ashram. Doing Yagya as we prepare for Shivratri, the night of Mahadev. His worship is going to be done globally on this night, throughout the world. On Mahashivratri night, the energy of Mahadev Baba descends into the lingam and yields more potency, more blessings to the Yajman, to the Sadhak that does his puja. From time to time we do discourses that deal with Shiva. What does it serve to do? By providing the information, that Sankhya, that Gyan, the person learns to see Mahadev, and in seeing him mentally builds a picture of how he is, who he is, what does he represent, and in doing so, when you know him, it is easier to love him, to adore him, to stay close to him. But the question, if I don't know God, what do you believe in? Why do I love my God? Why do I take the time to sacrifice throughout the night? As we know, Shivratri is made of different things. One thing that we do on Shivratri night, we make offerings. We do puja. We offer the milk, the dahi, the ghee, the cane juice, and all the prasad, and all the other items that are there. We know about that. We've dealt with that. I believe a lot of people understand the puja of the lingam. That is there. But Baba, suppose I can't do the puja. Suppose I'm afraid to go out. Suppose I live in a place where there's no temple, anything. I have nothing. Shivratri also has 4 more things. The vrat is constituted of the sacrifice or the offering of sleep. The person wakes throughout the night. When the puja begins, when the vrat begins, from pahar to pahar, we offer what? Our rest. That very needed sleep, we do without it, and we wake throughout the night doing jap, tapasya. We practice different mudras as we are jagawing mantras to Lord Shiva. There are different types of mantras, and in some yagya I have dealt with that. But a simple example, as last time we heard in the discourse, the Panchakshara mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, or Namah Shivaya, the 5-syllable mantra. And in doing it, you sacrifice. We have done the offerings. We have sacrificed sleep. We sing the praises of God. A major part of Shivratri, and sometimes overlooked, is the practice of singing, glorifying. Whether we chant a stotra like Brahma Murari Sura Chitta Lingam, or you hear the people start to sing their bhajan, their kirtan, and they're singing with love, with ras, with bhav. They want to explain O Bhola Baba Baso More Nagari, and they're chanting with love, with energy, with vibration, ferocity. Their drums knocking, tears are flowing. Nataraja, Nataraja, Naratana Sundara Shivaraja, and simple to complex songs. If you're one like me and you can't sing, simple songs. So we sing for him on the night of Shivratri. We do jap. We get up and we bathe at the 12 o'clock hour to refresh our bodies. And what else do we do? We fast. We fast. If a person has an ailment, that's the difference. And I mean, we must be very clear. When you have your health and you have your strength, Shivratri is something you want to do. Now there are people who are growing in their devotion, and I'm telling you the truth. You, in my line of work, you hear all kind of story. Baba, we can't do without the salt. High blood pressure. When the doctor telling you less salt you take, it's better for your pressure. So sometimes we take the little loophole that I'm about to discuss here. Shivratri says, if the person, because of health, cannot make with the rigor of the fast, allow them to eat one meal. I tell people it in a simpler way. If you know because you have to take medication or you are going through a battle, let's say a person is on dialysis, a person is on cancer treatments whatsoever, a person has HIV, a lady now made a baby but she wants to wake, she wants to do the little job, maybe she can't go for the lingam, but within what she can do. This is not for you and I to say no pray, don't do the prayer. In these instances, the food becomes medicine. And I just want to clarify this point before we go into tonight's discourse. The food has a purpose in circulation, in the body's operation. And in these instances, you allow the person to eat the food. But maybe what they do, let's say I eat a whole roti. A whole roti is my belly full amount. For Lord Shiva on this night, between you and your God, tell him, you know what, I'll suffice with 3/4 roti. If I eat 2 tablespoons of whatever takari, that is what I eat and I feel good, sufficient for the medication not to interfere with my head and so on. You know what, Baba, tonight I will fast from half a spoon. I'll eat 1.5. I'll give up half. So in a sense, you are still fasting somewhat. This has nothing to do with meat. There is no loophole for that. This fasting has to be vegetarian. But the salt fast is what I'm referring to. So please be clear. Nowhere in our text it says you punish the person in this way. If the person, because of medical reason, there's a necessity for food, let them have something. But then what happens in today's world, and maybe that's the Kali Yuga, as we say, it's Kali Yuga, signs of the time. People use their sickness as a means to get out of the fasting. And what I will say to that is this: rather than somebody, he telling tales in a pundit, rather than walk that road, who does it hurt? If somebody comes up and says, I can't do puja this year, I'm not feeling good. In an example, children may say these things, young adults and older parents, sometimes we'll call Pandit, you see, they're making excuses, they're making, the truth is, the only person that is hurting is themselves. Could you fool God? They can try to fool themselves, and that's fine. One day, God will be ready for them. The moment will come where they want to fast and want to do the prayer. I see it every day. When in Gita he says it, when you choose not to do what you have to do, that God will work the environment, the circumstance that will be presented. In Bhagavad Gita he says it, the circumstances will be so that you will have to do what you didn't want to do. In this example, in this conversation, we are talking about doing the vrat of Shivratri properly. Therefore, the person that is God activated, the person that is of a sattvic mindset, he embraces the opportunity to prepare for Sadashiva, to get the best ingredients. Analyze yourself as we are going towards that Shivratri. Are you thinking about where I will get my flour, where I will get the best milk, where I will get this or whatever I could afford, if it's just to go and cut some cane in your yard? I want to get the best ingredients. I want to spend that day, I don't have much, maybe I'm unclean, somebody died in the family, or my body is unclean for whatever reason. I at least will sit down, and you see that day, I am not going to get upset. I'm going to be calm. In different ways, people prepare for prayers, all very important. You could have the best milk, dahi, ghee, you could name it, make it prettiest person, but you don't have peace of mind, it'll never be 100 marks. So that is important. So people start to prepare yourself. What are we doing? By using these discourses and this time spent together, we are trying to awaken within us, you and myself, the sense of readiness. You are preparing, a big day is coming, and I'm not waiting on that day. Baba might drop something, he might say something that, you know what, I need to shine material. I need to make sure I have that little lota that we might depend on. You know what, I wasn't planning to do anything, but I feel I want to do it now. I listened to that discourse and it had something there. Something is waking up inside of me. Something is happening inside of me. And Lord Shiva, that God from within you, is knocking on the door. Hello? Hello? Did you get away from sickness? Did you pass that exam? Are things going better now? Did you get to go back out to your job? Is money flowing in your hands now compared to when the lockdown was there? Then maybe you should be grateful. Maybe you should give thanks for the life you have. Not everybody have it. And in this way, we look for inspiration in our texts. And the good Lord has provided ample. There are some people that gravitate to what they know. And maybe the younger ones want to know more than that. Gone are the days, devotees, where we say the same katha over and over again. Now, young children have questions and they want to know. Last night, for example, in our discourse, we dealt with Upamanyu. This character that we meet, that is guiding Lord Krishna in Puran. He guides Krishna to go to Lord Shiva and how to do. There's a prayer called Pashupadra, like how we talk about Shivratri. There's a prayer that Krishna wanted to have a son. But that son, between me and you, that son had a purpose. That son had to come into the Yadu dynasty. He had to come into his family to cause the end of the Krishna Leela. He has to be created for this purpose. He has to be very, very, unique, mentally adept. And Upamanyu does a wonderful job in describing prayer for Krishna, and that leads Krishna to Shiv Baba. And what happens? Long story short, Shiv Baba is so pleased with the prayer of Krishna that he says, "Oh Krishna, I myself, Sadashiva, Maheshwar, will come as your son." We know about different incarnations of Lord Shiva. I'll remind you of Bhairav. We'll just say Bhairav for now. I'll tell you another night the different forms of Bhairav. Bhairav Baba, we're familiar with that. Then we have Hanumanji, we're familiar with that. But did you know that the son of Krishna, one of them, Samba, like the dance, the Samba dance, Samba, he is also an incarnation of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva had to come to close off that discourse. Mahadev Baba is always in a Leela. He's always playing a role to incite something. Why does Lord Krishna have to get shot in the ankle when he's going in Bhagavad, when he's going back to Golok? Because Mahadev Baba had taken the form of Durvasa Rishi. Do you remember that? We did that in the last Shivratri. Durvasa Rishi is also an incarnation born to Atri Muni. When Mahavishnu comes as Dattatreya, when Brahma comes as the moon, Chandrama, Lord Shiva comes as Durvasa Rishi. And Durvasa Rishi gives Krishna a task. He says, and I'm summarizing, he says, you and Rukmani need to bathe in fermented gobar water, more or less, fermented. And Krishna listened. When the Brahmans speak, when Guruji give you an instruction, listen as he's explaining to his son in this discourse. And he put the gobar, the fermented, throughout his body, every finger going down. But when he reached to the dhoti at the end of the hem, because of the slipper he was wearing, he stops there. And at the end he presents himself together with Rukmini. And he says, Guruji, look, we have done what you have asked. Durvasa Rishi, bless him that your body will be protected like adamantium steel, like armor from the lash of the arrow. So this is how, fast forward in Mahabharata, he's sitting in front of the chariot when Arjuna is in the battlefield. But when the battle is done, if you remember your Mahabharata, Krishna comes off the chariot, he tells Arjuna, come off the chariot, and the third passenger. Do you know who that third passenger is? Do you remember it? We dealt with it. The red flag that is flying for those builders looking on here tonight. If you're building your roof, that red flag went in Anand Ramayana. When there's a competition between Hanuman and Arjun, Lord Shiva wants to tame the Abhiman of Arjun. And this in that discourse is where the red flag, the Hanuman flag, has to be taller than everybody. Why? He says, wherever my flag is located, wherever my flag is flown, my power is going to be there, my force is going to be there, and my protection is going to be there. So when he sits, when they sit as charioteer and chariot on that chariot, the third person is Hanumanji flying in that flag. In this way, when Krishna tells Hanumanji, come up, the entire chariot falls apart. All the arrow holes, all the weapons, everything shows it's damaged. So how come Krishna wasn't damaged first? But everybody else was losing their driver. Durvasa Rishi gave Krishna this blessing that no weapon would hit you. And when he bowed to the feet of Durvasa, imagine his foot is behind his hands as he's touching the ground. Durvasa saw the ankle. And in that ankle, there was no gobar. He says, oh Krishna, what have you done? What have you done? What have you done? By not listening to me, that part of your body is now susceptible. And this is why Krishna has to take the arrow. Pray, take the arrow in the ankle. This is why that happens. And who is in control of that Leela? The same Shiv Baba, the same person. He's coming as the son of Krishna, he's coming as a guru to Krishna, he's playing. That Leela is very intricate. Very intricate. In the Shiv Puran, there's a discourse with Mahakal Lingam where Hanumanji comes to see this little boy who is playing in the Lingam, made a Lingam, and he's able to call Mahadev Baba to come upon the earth. And in that discourse, what is the blessing? 10 generations from now. They were so proud and so happy with it. 10 generations from now, Mahavishnu will incarnate into your family. He will come into your home. He's not born of your home. But your people will be maintaining cows. And he will come and play with them. He will grow and run, and he will be the friend of all in that village. So Nanda is chosen. He's the younger one. He comes from this little boy that brought Lord Shiva to the earth. And Lord Shiva utters this blessing that Lord Vishnu will come into your village and play amongst you. Although he's not born of you, but he will maintain your cows with you. He will sing with you. He will eat with you. And because of his presence, you will get liberation. So blessed are you, O little one, that all your generations will be uplifted. That happened because of Lord Shiva as well. Last night we heard how this little boy born into poverty, but the power of a righteous mother. And the mother tells him, go and show kindness to Lord Shiva. Go and show love. Go and show love to Lord Shiva. And when you show him love, you will get whatever you're praying for. In this example, he's praying for milk. And as a result of his ardent prayer, even when Lord Shiva is offering him all the milk, anything he wants in disguise, he says, no, I want to listen to my mother. My mother's advice is to win him. I want him. Not only the milk and all those things, I want him. And when Lord Shiva couldn't take it no more, and he saw the strength of that devotion, that little boy, he ended up on the lap of Lord Shiva. And he says, from today, I adopt you. Oh, Upamanyu, I am like your father. Parvati Mata, she will be your mother. And Upamanyu became the Ganapati. He became the servant, the ruler of all the servants for Lord Shiva. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Tonight, if you're coming in a little late, we are entering into a discourse that continues to illustrate the Leela of this universe. And it shows how Lord Shiva is here, there, everywhere, weaving the stories, the intricacies, and he's playing. When we see him in our TV shows and we see him always in dhyan and meditation, what is he doing? He is enjoying the universe unfolding. What is happening in the future, in the past, the present, how they interact with one another. One thing will cause another thing in the study of time. Last time we made the statement, the greatest gift that God gives to us is time. And one of the greatest offerings that we can make is of our time. When the only thing we really have is time, everything else is transitory. With the time, we make karma. With that time, you can make good karma. With that time, you can make bad karma. How you use your time, is the key. Tonight we enter into Padma Puran, but before we do so, let's chant a couple opening mantras, Mangal Stotra, and then we'll get into a wonderful discourse tonight. Put your hands together, everybody, as we get set to welcome our Lord. Together we'll do it. Om Gajananam Bhutaganadi Sevitam Kapeta Jambu Palachara Bhakshitam Umasutam Sho Kavinashkarakam Namami Viganeshwara Padapankajam Sarvamangalamangaliye Shive Sarvata Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostute Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Everybody.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Last time. Om Namah Shivaya. Everybody. Om Namah Shivaya. Surya Chandra Agni Netraya Nam Kailasa Vasini Sachidananda Rupaya Pramadesha Mangalam Mrityunjayaya Sambhaya Shrushti Sthiti Antakarini Trayambakaya Sushantaya Trailokeshaya Mangalam Gangadharaya Somaya Namo Hari Haraya Atmane Ugraya Tripuraya Vamdevaya Mangalam. Om Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. One more time, everybody. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Tonight in our discourse, we are going to do a discourse that deals with something familiar with what we've been talking about today, about how Lord Shiva aids Mahavishnu in his discourses, in his Leela, as you'll hear at the end of our at the tail end of our discourse. But this discourse is different. We know about Ganapati Baba, we know about Kartik, we hear about somebody named Shashta Ayappa. Do you know who Shashta is? Have you heard of that child of Lord Shiva? Tonight as you are viewing, please send me a comment. Let me know where you're from and where you're listening. And do you know who Mahashashta is? Have you heard that name? Or if I say Ayappa, do you know that name? Tonight, we are entering into a discourse that I have touched upon in different aspects. Tonight we enter into the discourse about the daughter of Lord Shiva, the daughter of Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn something new about your Lord, and it brings you closer and closer to Him. When a person is engrossed in satsang and they are going to learn something new, they want to learn more. Every opportunity when they get to hear something about their God, they grasp at it. Then you're on the right track. If you are a person and when you don't know, like Narad Muni, Narayana, and he's always like a seeker, always wanting to know more about Prabhu, then you are on that same trajectory. But if you are numb to the workings of God, if you don't care, you have no emotion to learn, then you are not a bhakt. Then you are far from that. And for this reason, when bad things are happening, this is the cause. God is shaking you, as it were. Find your way back. And how do you do it? Start here. Start in satsang to awaken. I never knew, for example, Lord Shiva had a daughter. What is that about? Let me hear, let me learn. And in that way, you'll be able to benefit. You'll be able to benefit from these type of activities. Tonight, let's do Sumiran before we go in. Gauri Shankar Pad Kamala Prema Sahita Hiyale Srimad Shambhu Puran Ke Bashara Chushuva Shruti Samveda Nadi Shiva Samba Sachidanand Nirguna Brahma Vilaka Ek Dhyayami Sukhakan Jai Ke Maya Paya Jaga Bhaupalan Layo Shambhu Jasubala Pavat Gauravado Mata Pita Guru Bharati Veda Vyasa Munesh Prema Sahit Kar Jod Kara सब ही नाव शेष गौरी शंकर पर कमला प्रेम सहित हिले श्रीमद शंभु पुराण के भाषा रचहु शुभ श्रीमद शंभु पुराण के भाषा रचहु शुभ उमापति महादेव की जय. I almost forgot. Let me wish you a happy Janki Jayanti. Yesterday was the Kal Bhairav Ashtami. Today is Janki Navami, Sita Mata's birthday yesterday. So on this auspicious occasion, I wanted to read something with Devi in mind. Tonight we enter into Padma Puran, chapter 102. As we enter into this section, please draw your hands as Mahadev Baba is together with Parvati Mata as they walk through the Nandana Grove, it's a forest in the heavenly region, Swarglok, and they are spending time together. जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम 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 जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम महादेवो देवो ये तम पार्वतये इंद्र ये याति नंदनासितु ये याति घवदन्ये ब्रह्म लोक याता जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम 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 जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम उमापति महादेव की जय. Goddess Parvati wanted to spend time together with Mahadev, and at this moment he took her to see this beautiful grove, and whilst they're walking he is showing her all the different trees, all the different fruit trees, all the different flowering plants, all of them. And at one point he says to her, do you recognize this tree? And Devi doesn't. She says, oh Ishwar, you who are aware of everything, you are more knowledgeable of these things. Please tell to me, O husband, tell to me what type of tree, what type of plant, what is the benefit of this plant? Is this? Let's hear what happens in this next sloka, everybody. Aaye Shivratri Bhambola, Aaye Shivratri Bhambola, Shiva Shivratri Bhambola, Shiva Shivratri Bhambola, Aaye Shivratri Bhambola, Aaye Shivratri Bhambola, Shiva Shivratri Bhambola. कल्पद्रुना ये सिद्धुभान नन्नावाना पलन कर ये ना देवी पार्वता श्रीधुये तम कल्पये याति आये शिवरात्रि भंबोला आये शिवरात्रि भंबोला शिव शिवरात्रि भंबोला शिव शिवरात्रि भंबोला बोला बोला बम्बोला bola bola bam bola, bola bola bam bola, bola bola bam bola. Aaye Shivratri bam bola, aaye Shivratri bam bola, Shiva Shivratri bam bola. Ashok Sundari ye natam, Nannavahan ye stritidrit ye nayanti ayetam. Aaye Shivratri bam bola, aaye Shivratri bam bola, Shiva Shivratri bam bola, Shiva Shivratri bam bola. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. He takes on, he's showing her this one and that one. This one bears after Indra had done his sin. This one gives off the milk type of juice. That's a different story. But in that discourse, the sharing of sin is described, and how certain trees, the earth, the water, why we do certain prayer with the foam on the sea, that came from that. It also has to be with the origin of the menstrual cycle for women. This is what he's talking about. 4 places that sin went: to women, to trees, to the sea, and to the earth. He says after Indra had done that sin, and the sin was shared, trees started to exude this milky ooze, this milky sap. And those type of plants that give off that type of ooze became poisonous, became deadly. And for this reason, they are not to be used in worship. Not to be used in worship when poisonous. There are certain plants. He says, but this one, they reached a point in the grove. He says, this one is known as the Kalpa Drona tree. And it is so powerful, my dear one. It is so powerful that if you think about something, if you wish for something, you only mentally focus on it, and you are going to be able to have it. Parvati Mata was very impressed by that and wanted to test it and wanted to see if it was true, if it would really happen. And what does Parvati Mata? This is before Ganapati. This is before he comes. She thinks about a girl. She puts her head just like what women do when they are doing the people tree vrat, and they are walking around the people tree 108 times, and then they rest their head and they say prayers for marriage, for children, etc. Similar to that, Parvati Mata goes to this tree in the presence of her husband and rests her head on that tree. And in her mind, she thinks of a beautiful, beautiful girl that would bring pride, that would bring joy, that would bring upliftment, that would bring some joy, some leela to her family, to her race, to her husband, that brings a different type of happiness. She's thinking to herself as she's standing there that I had brought so much joy to my father's home. May such a person come now and bring similar, like type of joy to our home. And in that moment, Narad Muni, as this discourse is being retold to Yudhishthira, Narad Muni is repeating what a Muni by the name of Kunjala is giving. And he says, Parvati Mata shows when a person just listening to the words of Shiva. She didn't doubt. And we spoke about this last night. If somebody says, if you do that prayers, if you do it properly, if you do it in the right way, you will be able to get your wishes granted. Your prayer is going to bring manifest change in your life. How many of us would just get up and do it? How many people might doubt or cry or say that is too difficult or that too hard or that too easy? It wouldn't work. Many people would fall for that. This case, on the other hand, mother stands there and she rests her head on the trunk of the tree and spoke to that tree like a mother to a mother. And speaking to her, she says, allow this girl to have beauty. And mother paints the verses here go on from the cheek to the ears to the hair, come down to the neck, the chest, the thorax, the stomach, the leg, the calf, the ankle, the toes, the meter of the toes, the type of hair that is coming out of the pores, the skin, the tone, the eye, the eyelid, the ability to smile, the teeth, proportionate of the body. Sadashiva is standing and looking on. And mother, from her mind, Mana's prayer, echoes this prayer into this tree. And when she's done, pulls away and bows to this tree properly with all reverence, with all love and belief in what her husband had said. As they continue to walk from within the grove, came a young girl fitting the description of what Parvati Mata had described. This young girl comes Kanya still, before puberty, and she says, Ma, you have created me, and you created me via that tree, and now I am here. Parvati Mata runs and holds and hugs her, and she says, because you have removed my misery, your name will be Ashok. Without misery, Shok is misery. Without Shok, Ashok Sundari, or beautiful girl. The beautiful girl that removed the pain, the misery of Parvati Mata. She says, you are my daughter and you will remain with me. Principal Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. This persona becomes part and parcel of the family. Practice more so in the southern part of India, where her form is known. Manas Devi is another name for another daughter of Goddess Parvati and Lord Shiva. There are so many discourses. Mangal, the planet Mars. There are other forms. We'll deal with it one by one. But what is the significance? Kunjala is asking. So what happened to her? What does she do? How does she, impact the family? Narmani says, asking in this way, the answer came. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Ashwin Kumaraye Ashok Sundari Pravesh Karta Dvitiye Yashtha ye nata cha ye yantam kshetre pala ye yati. Jai bole Baba tab sharanam, Jai bole Baba tab sharanam, Jai bole Baba tab sharanam. Jai Samba Sada Shiva tab sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva tab sharanam. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Said as she's growing up, Parvati Mata had made a blessing as she saw her. She says, because of your beauty, and because you have come as a daughter to me, the daughter is the one that removes the miseries. She has a little more love within her. Everybody who has that little boy or that little girl knows that boys and girls are made differently, and as children, a girl child will love and will give that type of adoration that the parent will feed off of. The parent will relish the hug, the kiss, the gentler side. She is made with a little more caring, a little more compassion than the boy. The boy is like Krishna. He only wants to go. He's leaving Yashoda every day. And when he comes home, it's trouble for Yashoda. Still loving, but different. And she says, because you are who you are, because you have come to me in this way, because this would have been the first time she has a girl. This is the first time she has this type of love. And she tells the little girl, when you grow up, you will get married to a powerful, great, righteous, handsome young man by the name of Raja Nahush. Excuse me. Raja Nahush. So the little girl, listening to this, she took it as if it were a blessing. She took it as my mother's words. She says that I am ordained to marry Raja Nahush. And it so happened that one day while she's playing in that same grove with other young children from divine homes and the homes of devatas, that in that place, the son of a great demon by the name of Hunda, he comes there. And what does he come to do? I guess he sees the good in her. He sees the beauty. And he wants to talk. It says here that he immediately was captivated. And he wanted to have her, although she's young. And they go, and as they meet to get the water, Hunda is already older than her by much. He says, who are you? Who do you belong to, young one? Beautiful one? From where have you come? Ashok, looking at him, is wondering, why is he talking to me? I'm insignificant, I'm small. He is big, age-wise, and continues to do what she's doing and pay him no heed. And he pursues. He says, excuse, who are you? Don't you hear me talking to you? Why are you ignoring me? Why are you rebuking me? You don't know who I am? I am the son of the king. My name is Hunda. I am a great warrior. I have mastered the arts of fighting. I have done the science of war and politics. I am a great king in my own right. And today I am bewildered by your beauty. I have come here to speak to you. I want to know, who do you belong to? And she says, I belong to Parvati Mata and the god of Kailash. I am their daughter. He becomes more interested now because of the prestige, the great home she's coming from. And he starts to ask questions about who is she going to marry? Who is she, going to end up with? And she says, no. Don't ask me these questions because I am spoken for. At my first meeting with my mother blessed me that I will be married to a person by the name of Raja Nahush, a great king's son as well. But I'm already there, and I am loyal in my heart, in my mind. I belong to him. Honda feels as if he's more empowered to hold on to her, to get her. Who is this person, Nahush? She says that he has not been born yet. Understand this one. He has not been born yet. He is going to be born. So now Honda tries a different approach. It would be very of ill repute if the wife is older. Remember, these are those times. If the wife is older than the husband, you would not have respect for him. Your body is going to mature faster than his, and by the time he comes to manhood, you would be looking for something else, and he would not be able to provide it. I, on the other hand, I am more mature than you, and you would be able to see like and like with me. You would not have respect for him because he's very young. He would be like your son. Therefore, forget this saving yourself for that person and give yourself to me. Maybe it's the Parvati, but the Adi Shakti inside of this little girl became very awoke. She becomes angry. Do not try to distract me. Do not try to, with your demonic ways, to get me to do what you want. Do not try to dissuade me from my resolve. I do not want no part of it. And I do not want you. I am already, in my mind, I already belong to somebody. And I am happy and I am okay with that. When you're reading discourses like this, it shows how you have to be careful with girl children. In a world, in a country where girl children are tossed off cliffs, where they are betrayed, where they are videoed and displayed for the world to laugh at them, as well as men, but people do it to women more. Send me a picture, send me a video, send me something of yourself, and when trust is no longer there, they'll display to everybody. Girls are still under this type of attack now with the social media and the internet in a different way. And what parents have to do is keep them in good company, train them properly, don't just forget them. We'll regret that. When she speaks like this, she walks off of it. And he makes his mind up. He's not going to give up so easy. He is going to try still to woo her. So he goes, he leaves, and he takes a possession of a person's body, a maid in the home, and using that body, spiritual possession. Look at how advanced our texts are. Causes this person to speak about how this boy, this Hunda, this great king's son is so great, he's so good looking, he's all these things, to influence her mind. And when that didn't help, Hunda leaves that body, gives up that body. The person regains their normal thinking, and he takes the form now as a woman. And in that disguise comes into the place where she's playing and she's having her time with her friends. And she says, "Oh, beautiful one, who do you belong to? Where are you from? This is the first time I'm seeing you here, dear one." Sweet words, Guruji says, sweet words. And the young girl, out of respect, says, "I am Parvati's daughter and I've come to play." And Hunda now in this form starts to have conversations, sweet conversations about what they like and what they want to eat and what is her favorite this, that and the other. And when that pseudo friendship is formed, At a distance, he shows by his mystical powers a beautiful city, golden city. And she had never seen this place before. And when she starts to ask, so where is that? And why is that so pretty? Honda in this form says, let's go. And quickly, magically, takes her over there. And now they are sitting on a swing, looking like two girls. And Ashok Sundari says, who is the owner of all this? Who lives here? And the girl that is the demon in disguise says, it is that person you had met, Honda, that young prince. This is his palace, this is his city. Do you know him? She says, she stays quiet. And when Guruji says, when the demon, he couldn't hold it in, he's so enraptured, he's so much in love. He takes his true form, to the surprise of Ashok Sundari on the swing right there, where two of them are sitting, and he tries to hold her and bring her on top of his lap, to forcefully put her where she does not want to go, under this kind of secretive kidnap, smart kidnap or kidnap. This young girl now is in danger. And because of the blessing of the mother, again reference is made here, because of the power of the mother. In all our texts, a mother is a defender. Remember that. For those of you who have split homes and rough marriages, you have a duty to your children, especially our girl children. Part of your role, part of your parental karma. Last time we spoke about parental karma. Part of your role is not only to grow them, feed them, and see them literally grow like that, but to grow mentally, to grow emotionally, and you have to, what you feed children, that is what they grow up with. If mommy is a Kali Mata, a destroyer, look at Parvati Mata when Ganesh Baba's head is destroyed because of Lord Shiva. It don't matter. The world was about to be destroyed as Adi Shakti took form, and she was about to destroy everybody. Why did you touch my child? That is the example our text gives. That a mother is truly that Durga, that Kali. That when you interrupt or interfere with her children, she does not stand idly by and allow you to do it. In fact, that one lady could become Saraswati Mata with the homework. She becomes Lakshmi Mata with blessing of gifts and love and cake with ice cream and candle and all these things. That's that same Devi. She becomes the punisher. When Durga Mata is not happy with you, she says in that Devi Bhagavad that she will test the person. That she will milch and wring from that person, that devotion, so that you will grow. I remember when I was small, my mother had a wonderful handwriting. I used to get licks right here on my knuckle. Come on, fix that R, fix that T. In my time you had to use fountain pens and that kind of cursive writing. And we were taught by the same lady who gives you all the cake and all the love, and do something wrong, that same lady is going to cut your tail. There's no other person. The father has a role, but too often a father, especially in a split home, in a damaged marriage, and in those circumstances I'm focusing on for this part, the father sometimes could be overwhelming. Not every case is the same, but in a world where you have financial abuse, you have emotional abuse, you have physical violence, 10 to 1, who is the person at the receiving end of that type of abuse? The lady. And even in those circumstances, mothers today are standing, and I encourage those that their knees are buckling. Sometimes you're not sure what to do. There are people to call. You could call me, you could call your guru, your priest, your imam. Call somebody. Call somebody for help. If you need help, reach out for help, definitely. Because in today's world, maybe if I was a good pundit, and I'll say this, I'm not a good pundit. If I was a good pundit, maybe I should say everybody should stay in their marriage. And I'm saying this openly. Maybe I should say that. If I was a good boy, maybe I should say that. Tell me what you think. Write a comment on this touchy topic. I agree, I'm saying it first and foremost. No situation is frankly the same. There are, details in everything. But sometimes, when you are in this type of abusive relationship, I am not going to say the best thing is to stay in the marriage. When you see women being harmed and hindered and raped in their homes, you can't say stay, because what will people say? What will people say, Pandit? I do a lot of funerals. But they go say then, she should have leave. She should have go to the police station. She should have called for help. If she only tell me. In that case, the mother becomes a really strong person to make those tough decisions. And where does this lesson start? Why am I saying this? For my parents to imbibe within our young girls today the need for financial stability, the need for your education, the need for your job. Choose wisely when you're choosing somebody, babe. Parvati Mata told her daughter that. Parvati Mata guided her daughter, and she says it. She says, you are trying to instill and to dissuade me. You're trying to instill wrong and lies inside of me. You're trying to distract me. You're using all type of skullduggery to get me to do what you want. Do you know who her word is? Do you know who my mother is? Do you know where I come from? And you are interfering with me? Do you know what lives inside of me? When you have a strong mother, you are going to be a strong person, especially the girl children. Very rare you will have a Shakti, a Durga-like mother, and you will have a weak, Pomi one-type daughter. Children grow by watching. Children grow by looking at what mommy is doing, what daddy is doing, what mommy is doing, what daddy is doing, and they emulate. So when you give your girl children a strong foundation in terms of self-confidence, self-awareness, knowledge, pathway, and they know where they're going in this life, very rare, it have instances where a girl could just throw it all away. But that's her choice. But when parents do their diligence, most of the time, girl children are not going to put themselves in circumstances of homes where they are ill-treated or mishandled. And if, because it still happens, people change. If it happens, they know how to deal with it. Tonight, in this discourse, at this point in time, where the boy tries to rape the daughter of Lord Shiva, where he basically kidnaps her, they're there. It is happening in Padma Puran. This is chapter 103. Because the daughter is taught properly how to react, how to stand up, she stands firm. And she says to him, my dear demonic friend, my mother already promised me to Raja Nahush, and I put shrap on you. Listen to this. I put shrap on you, my husband. When he comes, no matter he's younger than me, we will be happy. Don't think for a moment we are the first. If you did not know, listen to this. In the Yadhu dynasty, there will one day be a person by the name of Balram and Vasudev, the son of Vasudev. Those two, the older one, Balram, will be married to Revati. Revati is the wife of Balram, brother to Krsna. Revati. At this time, long before, Ashok Sundari says Revati is already born. In Satyug, she's already born. There's a discourse here where she was tricked and kidnapped and how she reached to that point. But she was already born. 20 yugs will pass, and then she will meet that Balram. And in meeting him, they will get married. What about them? Oh, you dark, cretinous, lecherous, lying person. Oh, downfall of your father, downfall of your kinsman, downfall of your family. Why? By touching me, you think you have brought goodness to your home? You have brought the death to all your sons and your daughters and your grandsons. You have brought ill and sickness on them, because now I put shrap upon you. My husband will grow and come to destroy you. I promise you this. Prem se bolo Adi Shakti Mata ki jai. In that moment, Hunda realizes that he has made a mistake and now has incurred the shrap of the daughter of Mahadev. Doesn't say a word again, he leaves, he disappears, and she goes back to where she was before, in Kanchana, in that place, in that city where she was from, where she was living, and forgot about it. But in the conversation, Guruji says that in the conversation that she had let out that Nahush is going to come as the son of the king Ayu and his wife Indumati, that one day they are going to have this son Nahush. So what does Hunda do? You know, you have some sick people. There's a lot of psycho people and psychotic people in this world. And they are of the belief, well, if I can't have you, tonight, if you know anybody, tell me what you think. If your daughter, granddaughter, or anybody has, you know, some experience and could probably lecture to me in this, send me a message. Come on. There are some people in this world that are of the belief, if I can't have you, nobody will have you. If I can't have you, nobody can have you. So what does this fella do? Hunda goes to his sister, another female, goes to his sister and he says to her, Kadamba, go and kidnap Indumati. She is not pregnant yet, and if we bring her here and we destroy her body, she will never bring about my enemy. You think about that? Look at the level. Look at the level. When the sister goes, Indumati is praying, and by the TH, by the protective force of that prayer, she cannot come close. For this reason, when I'm teaching anybody based on our books, Shivratri night, when you're praying, make sure you're sitting on your kush grass. Make sure you have your till. If you're living abroad and you're doing your dhyan, your jap, your tapasya, even if you're just sitting on a chair and your foot is on the mat, make sure your feet are on that kush grass or till or something that gives you that protection from what you never know what evil is lurking around. You don't know you are in trouble until you are in trouble. And based on our text, those souls, unrested, negativity, goblins, ghouls, however you want to call them, pisach, etc., they come to feed off godly people, goodly people doing their good works. Because you have the energy, the tej, the beneficial energy that could help them. So they come and they take. But like in this example, because she has placed different types of amulets, different types of protective gear around her, they cannot touch the body of this soon-to-be mother. Whilst this is going on, Ayu, the father, he has approached the incarnation, the part incarnation of Mahavishnu, as the son of Atri Muni, Dattatreya, you know, Lord Dattatreya, Dattatreya Yoga Center, Dattatreya. His teachings are different, and another day we could go into that, in his ways. He does not talk about fasting. He does not talk about discipline. He does not talk about puja. He tells the person, you don't want to do prayers, don't do the prayers. That is your karma. You don't want to get up, you don't want to try, and it leaves the person. It comes like this. If you don't want to pick up your book, why must I bray behind you? Boy, you want to sleep? Sleep. That is what Dattatreya is basically. When you are ready, when this G, when the God within you is ready for change, you will change yourself. Otherwise, well, the fact is you will die and you're born again, and you'll die and you're born again, and you die and you're born again. Why, as a teacher, would I bray behind you? Why fight? Think about what, as a pundit, what I do. I go on television, on a singasan, and I try to force you, to encourage you like a child. Babe, if you have a child home in your house, tell me if this has happened. Babe, yo, get up and light it here. Babe, get up and go to school early. And you there fighting the current in the sea. You fighting the current in the sea because you could hold back the waves or the wind, apparently. Get up, babe, get up, babe, get up, babe, get up, babe, get up, babe. And you there like a track record going. And it's only when that child ready to do that. Maybe when they get a job, maybe when it's affecting their pocket, maybe when they want to lose that job, maybe they would make that initiative to change. And Dattatreya basically, and I'm summarizing his teachings into a kind of example. That is how he teaches. You don't want to do it? Don't do it. He tells you, don't come and bow to my foot. Don't come and do these things. I have no time for that. I don't want to guide you. I'm not a guru. I am not bothered with that. He says, but Guruji, he's still calling him Guruji. Guruji, you are an incarnation of Mahavishnu, and I want your blessing. He says, I have no blessing to give. And his study pushes him out, pushes him. Time is passing, and the king comes every day, and he tries to beg him to give him grace, his blessings. And one day, Kunjalaji says, one day Dattatreya smiled. First thing in the morning, he tells, okay, I have a cup and I have a bowl on the table. Give me something to drink, give me something to eat. That was his task. And the king brought back the best food and the best drink that it had in season, and he gives him it. And in the moment, Lord Dattatreya says, you will have your boon. Ask for what you want. You have maintained yourself. You didn't give in when you don't get what you don't want. When people do not get what they want, when they want, sometimes their faith is fleeting. Sometimes the smile that they smile to the murti goes. Abusive language comes in its place. And the person doesn't want to hear anything about sing the bhajan or do the job that time, because I did not get what I want. And Dattatreya in this way is trying to root out these types of people. If you are not ready for God, you're not ready. Don't waste your breath like the pundit. The pundit is trying to hold back the wave in the sea. This is your natural tendency, but I'm trying to usher you in a different way. Change, come to prayers. Don't wait until you're in a hospital bed or dying then to want to pray. Leave them. You don't want to do it? Don't do it. Shivratri coming. You don't want to pray? Don't pray. Remember that. Think about it. If you are a follower of Lord Dattatreya, please give me your 2 cents in the chat. Send me a message, please, tonight. Prem Sabolo Shri Vishnu Bhagwan Ki Jai. He says, please give me, ask for what you want. He says, please give me a son that will be valorous, that will be beautiful, that will be intelligent, that will be relevant, effective ruler, that will carry on as an heir to my throne, that will carry on my name, that will bring victory not for this generation, but upliftment for all the generations. He says, bless my son to be an ardent devotee of Mahavishnu. The Lord Dattatreya smiles and he says, all that you want and more. Bless your son that he would have a spark of Lord Vishnu within him. He'll be divine and worthy of great things and greatness. This is assured. Shri Vishnu Bhagwan Ki Jai. When this had happened, not too long after, Indumati is known to have conceived, and she's with child and she is slowly developing. And regardless to the attacks, the spiritual attacks, that Hunda is trying to steal what is in her body, it is not successful. They do all the different prescribed rites, the 3-month sanskar in her belly, 6-month sanskar. Shashti Puja is done. Different type of yantra is tied below the pregnant belly so that the jeev, the life that is within her and that is growing, is safely there. And those type of entities that will try to penetrate the womb to damage, they cannot attack such a being. Indumati prays every day very ardently, doing things like the different stotras, the different puja. And what is she praying for? She says, Dear God, Lord Dattatreya has blessed us that our son will be endowed with great virtue. He would have a spark of Mahavishnu. May you please bless these things to happen. May you bless these things to be born, to be born in him. But dear God, many people are going to jealous my child. Protect him. And she prayed, as I guess any mother, she prays for the protection of her boy. Prem Swalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. When fast forward, the time had come for him to born. When he's born, the night he is born, do you think Hunda takes a break? He hears that the enemy, based on the words of Ashok Sundari, the enemy is born, that Indumati delivered a baby boy and she is resting. She is resting, but the baby is in the cradle, in the bedroom, in the chamber room, and all the maid servants have gone to rest. It is late night. And he calls on his servants and he says, Go, bring that child for me. In that helpless state, no type of sanskar has been done yet. Nam sanskar, none of these things have been done yet. Sintumanyan, Chira karma sanskar, none of these things have been done yet. Bring that child. And they go in the dead of night. And whilst the mother's back is turned to the child, they take the child, they kidnap the child. And they bring it to Raja Hunda and they give him the child. Hunda goes home with this newborn and he hands over the child to Vipula and he says, Take this child into the kitchen. Newborn. Kitchen. Cut its throat and cook this child and bring this child for me to eat. I am going to eat this flesh tonight. My enemy will destroy in its baby, in its infant stage. It will not be ready, it will not be able, it will not be feasible to fight me. Vipula immediately starts to feel, but what? Why would my husband, a great king, want to kill an innocent newborn baby? She asked him, Rajan, why do you want to do this? He says, that is the person that is going to rob you of your sindur. That is the person that is predisposed, predicted to kill me. Therefore, I am trying to kill him first. And she, as a woman, understood that my marriage, I don't want nobody to kill him. And she takes the child, and now she understood, she has no issue. And there is this maid servant, the chief, Mekala. She says, Mekala, take this to the kitchen and destroy it and let the cook prepare it in some dish somehow and bring it for the Raja in his throne room. This is my order. And the good servant goes to the kitchen, opens the baby clothing, and by the power of Lord Dattatreya, by the power of Mahavishnu, and by the grace and the protection of Lord Shiva in particular, because this person has a role to play. When they open let's say the blanket, by the gaze upon the child, by the darshan of Shiv Baba, Mekala, she starts to feel so emotional. How could the king want to destroy this child? Look at how innocent he looks. Look at how beautiful he is. Look at how happy he is. How could they want to kill him? And the cook now, he goes into a swoon. from being a monster, cooking the worst and doing the worst of all forms of life, he starts to get emotional himself and he says, no, we can't do this. This innocent child can't be harmed. This baby can't be cooked. How will I be able to live with myself if I bring harm to this newborn? Unfortunately, devotees, not every person is like that. There are people. You think this is something strange? Somebody want to kill a baby, that's something strange. It have people who would kidnap newborn. It have people who will do all forms of atrocities, monstrosity to children. Bury them in shallow graves without feelings. There are some people who had no feelings. The other day a child got shot trying to come to Trinidad, and I guess the child deserved it. It happens. And without remorse, without a care, without a bat of an eye, some people don't even feel for the mother or the father of that child. Forget the child dead. What about you? Do you, when you say, dear God, Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, I have compassion, what do you have compassion for? Your own children? Your own grandchildren alone? Or do you have compassion for children across the board, regardless of race? Poor children, rich children, regardless. Test yourself and tell me that. Tonight, wherever you are, share the satsang. There are parents that need this type of discourse. There are people that need to hear this. Please leave me a comment. What do? Maikala and the cook, they cannot help themselves, so they devise a plan that they're going to sneak out the child. Maikala is given strict instructions now from the cook. Take that child out of here. So Maikala goes where? To the hermitage of Vashish Muni. And in the hermitage of Vashish Muni, they leave him unannounced, without warning, without any type of announcement, in the dead of night. They leave him there. And Maikala, as per the plan of Lord Shiva, kissed his forehead and bid him goodbye. The cook, on the other hand, prepares antelope, black antelope, giving the king, thinking it was the body of the child. And he eats his merriment, thinking that he had destroyed his enemy that night. Indumati wakes up the next morning bawling, as you can imagine, wailing, lamenting. Where's my baby? Where's my baby? Where's my baby? What did I do? What did I do wrong? Why is my child in danger? Why is my child missing? Why is my child not here? She says, Dattatreya told me I would have a powerful son that is in. You cannot beat him. You cannot destroy him. How is it that he is kidnapped now? And going on like this. Nobody could calm her down. At the same time, in the morning had come in the ashram of Vashish Muni, and they get up and discover a baby. And by the power of Vashish, who becomes the guru of Sri Ram, by his drishti, his divinity, he knows that is the son of Ayu and Indumati. And he knew everything that had come to pass. And he accepts the child. And he keeps the child for a period of time to teach the child. It is now time for him to learn all the science of archery, all the science of war, all these things. And under the tutelage of Vashish Muni, he becomes very, very, very knowledgeable, very powerful. And he's growing. And as time is passing, as he grew up, that Mahadev Baba allowed it so that Ashok Sundari is told that it was time for Nahush to come back to his parents, and they happen to see. And when she sees him, she is enraptured because she remembered the words of her mother. She remembers the words of her mother and she knows that she has to marry there. But you know, the butterflies in his stomach is coming. She doubts. Narad Muni comes to look for her. And what does he say? Please pay attention to this part. She says, are you sure I'm supposed to marry him? Are you sure I'm supposed to be there at his side? What does my father wish of me? And Narad Muni gives a description here of the role in the eyes of a father, the role of a daughter. Too often we speak about the role of son. But he says a daughter is a more compassionate being to the feelings of the father, to carry out those wishes, those deeds, those things that will uplift father and mother long after they have died and gone by the upbringing. Whilst life is still within the body, the daughter is the one that is allowed the opportunity to bring mukti and moksha to parents. However, the son has to do it after they die. What is that? When she gets married and she goes into the husband's home and she brings up that home, she uplifts that home, no matter how bad the husband's ways are, that good girl, by the teaching of father and mother, brings straightforwardness, goodness, righteousness into that home. And there, that girl is uplifting. This is why we call her Putri. She's called the one who saves the parents from hell. Because she brings forth not only good grandchildren, that is part of it, but her actions are according to the training of parents. And now her actions are uplifting another family. Whereas if you have a son, he only knows what he has been taught, yes, but he only lifts his own family. But the girl child, she has the ability to manipulate her life as well as the life of the family that she is married into. Shri Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. He says, my dear, you are part of the Leela that your father has planned. Know that when you marry Nahush, that in time, after getting married and living happily, which is part of it, importance here is being placed on happiness. Not only getting married, but to be happily married. That brave person, Nahush, he is the best amongst the mighty. Do not have any type of pain, do not have any type of sorrow. That religious-minded one, he is living still in the forest, away from mother and father as he's growing and he wants to become a better and better individual, to make himself better. Living like an ascetic, he is growing and grooming himself at the feet and hands of Vashish Muni. And one day after he destroys Hunda, per your words, per the blessings of Sada Shiva, he will come to be married to you. And from him, O auspicious one, you will obtain a son that resembles Indra. In our text, we hear of it in Puran, Yayati. Yayati would be your son, and you would have many daughters. But this son of Nahush and Ashok Sundari, will have great grandsons by 4 of them. Turu, Puru, Uru, and Yadhu. She says Yadhu. The name sounds familiar, doesn't it? Yadhu. She says, you know, I'm listening, I'm happy, I'm glad, but so each one of them will have great families. But you see that Yadhu, he will have 8 sons. 8 sons. Bhoj, Bhimaka, Andaka, Kunjara, Vrishni, Shrut Sena, Shrut Dhara, Kaladhamrast. She listens. Okay. But devotees tonight, that Yadhu is the head of the Yadav clan. That is where it started. This is the history of what? The Yadhu dynasty is the family Lord Krishna comes from. The Vrishni is that son of the Yadhu that comes directly into Vasudeva Devaki, where Krishna is born. In this part of Padma Puran, The question is being asked, how is it that the family that Lord Krishna is born into, how is it that family is chosen? By what merit? And by Lord Krishna's wish, like Lord Shiva's wish, so many moons ago. It is as if Lord Krishna is born in the lineage of Lord Shiva. In other words, because of Ashok Sundari, when you listen to Bhagavad and you listen to Krishna Leela and you hear of the Yadu dynasty and the Yadu dynasty and all the members of the Yadu dynasty, understand where it came from. That in order for Krishna to fit in that family, to sit, it had to come from divinity, it had to come from greatness. And that greatness started off with Mahadev Baba. It started off with his daughter. Listening to the words of Narmani, he says to her, you take heart and take consolation in this, that there is a rule. And your father is going to be so happy. He is going to be so pleased that this would bring about the coming in 20 Yug, when Dwapar will be upon the earth, the incarnation of Mahavishnu will come into your lineage. So important is this marriage to Nahush. Prem se bolo Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. When all this had happened, Nahush had come into the city and he's going to find Hunda. And when he finds Hunda with 10 arrows, he destroys him, piercing the body in hurtful way, causing all kinds of pain. No medicine, no doctor, no apothecary could help him. No amount of medicine could help the pain. It was very painful. And they do get married shortly after. And the daughter of Lord Shiva marries to Raja Nahush, and they rule this place in preparation for the establishment of the Yadu dynasty, that one day Krishna Bhagwan will come to play his Leela. Lord Shiva, tonight as I conclude, as I pause here, Lord Shiva is always, when Sri Ram is there in Ramayana, when you listen to Kritivasi Ramayana, where you get, that is the Bengali version of Ramayana, and you get variations in the details and all these things. Lord Shiva is helpless. That when Lord Vishnu has his 10 incarnation by the words of Brigu, the Muni called Brigu had put Shrap upon Lord Vishnu that you will have to go upon the earth 10 times. Mastya, Varha, Haya, Grieve, etc. Going down to Ram, Krishna, Buddha, Kalki, all these things will have to happen. Mahadev Baba is always there. Tonight we talk about Ashok Sundari, the daughter of Lord Shiva. Tomorrow we'll go on to another discourse. But look at the hands of Lord Shiva as he's sitting here in Shambhu, Shankar Bhagwan. And what is he doing? He is encouraging, he's playing supporting actor, and he is cajoling you and I. Just as girls, just as daughters, granddaughters, etc. God is always active and presently inactive as well. When Krishna says, I am in and I am out of the creation, he's looking at the creation, but his energy is the creation. This is what Lord Shiva does. In this illustration, it shows how he participates and fuels the story. He allows it to blossom. Long before Krishna descended on the earth in that Janamashmi night, look at the layers on the side with the Mahakal, Ishwar Lingam, with Hanuman Baba and the little boy that caused Krishna to come in the family with the cow and Nanda Baba's family. Now we hear about Vasudeva and the Yadu dynasty, the Vrishni, all of them. How did that happen? Where did it come from? Who is the master puppeteer behind all of it? Lord Shiva. He is the one who is caressing this creation so that things can happen, so that change, story, leela, lessons could be learned, karma could be exerted. For this reason, when we go on that night to Shivratri, we go and we beg him, you are the one who has the power. Mahadev Baba, I have a desire, I have a request, I have a problem, please help me with it. And when done properly, praise is patience. Tonight as I conclude, please remember this. If you feel, I have been praying for 1 year. I did one fasting, Pandit. I checked my patra and I did some prayers, but I didn't get what I want. The correct next step is to have patience. The Pandit can't adjudicate what come for you or what not come from you. I wish I could get you all your blessings. But God is the one who judge pray. God is the one looking at inside your heart. And He's wondering, are you really ready or do you need to upgrade a little bit? Can you improve in your mind? Maybe you get the best flowers and the best diya and the best mala. That's true. But did your mind do the best? Are you capable of greater things? And this is where God says, you know what, hold on. This is not the time. This is not the moment. Hold on. Do the fast again. Do the prayer again. Try again. Keep praying. Hold a little bit. In all our discourse last night, tonight, everybody is tested. And my question to you is, when you are tested, listening and to learning these things, to hear of the troubles of other people, do you listen to that? Do you learn from that? Do you say, okay, when I'm tested, I'm not going to fail? Or will you fail? Tonight we've spoken a lot about abuse and the importance of mothers to be strong. And I reiterate, I recollect that point. Just to drive it home, please, mothers, be mothers. Mothers, please be Durga. Please be Parvati. And let your daughters be the Ashok Sundari, the one that takes away your miseries. You have hardships. Everybody has. Yours may be special, I agree. What are you doing about it? If you are in an unsafe environment, reach out. Reach out. Ask for help. There are many, many places to get help. Nobody is Honda. Nobody is the greatest demon that you can't defeat them. No. People would like you to feel they are indestructible. Like this little girl, people try to persuade you and dissuade you, kidnap you, harm you. Don't wait until you are being kidnapped to try to teach a child what is to be done, what is not to be done. We have to prepare for when the Hunda and all the monsters come for them, so that they will be ready to face those battles. Not the day the battle reach, then you want to try to, okay, hold the cutlass soon and prepare for your fight. Say the prayers, be in the puja, join the satsang group, be in the bhajan group, be in the company of good people. No, that time it's too late. That time she might listen to Hunda and go with Hunda. That time she would do the unexplained, what you didn't expect. Tonight I am just echoing what is given in these texts. That whilst doing puja and listening to discourse is nice, living right is good too. Your Parab Karma made you a parent, and in particular tonight I'm talking to the mothers. Be a strong mother. And don't mind you have your tests. Lord Shiva is testing, but He's recording. And if inside of all the tests that you are given, you continue to be a good mother, a good person, then you and you alone will see the blessings and the benefits in all your sacrifice that you have made and you continue to make. I could only describe it, but you will live it. God bless each and every one of you tonight. And as we have run out of time, let me apologize for going over everybody. Tomorrow night, another wonderful discourse. I hope you enjoyed this discourse tonight. Please leave me a message. If you're watching on the YouTube, on the replay, please send me a message, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel so that you will be alerted when we load up more. Get ready for tomorrow night, everybody. Shivratri, just a couple of days again. If you want to hear any particular discourse, if you have questions, come on everybody, leave me a comment. Tonight after the broadcast, I'm going to sit down and read comments and reply to you. We'll be talking soon, don't worry. I'll be posting up my phone number, send me a WhatsApp and we'll be in touch. Everybody have a safe night. God bless you all. Happy Sita Mata birthday. Happy Janki Jayanti. May the blessings of Mother be with you. Tonight as we conclude, please join your hands as we do final prayer. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva
Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam मम देव देवा
त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा। ओम शांति
शांति शांति हरि ओम।
प्रेम से बोलो उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, श्री आदि शक्ति माता की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम everybody, सीताराम. Until tomorrow night, bye bye.